I don't tell this story often because most people just laugh. But I swear, this really happened to me back in the summer of 2007. I was 15, spending the break at my grandparents' farmhouse in Nebraska. The house sat right next to a wide, empty field that looked endless at night. No streetlights, no neighbors, just corn and silence. One night around 2 a.m., I woke up thirsty. The air was heavy, no wind at all, just that dry, warm stillness before a storm. When I looked out my window, I saw something standing in the field. At first, I thought it was a scarecrow, but it moved. Not much, just a slow, gentle sway. Like someone standing in a breeze, except the air was completely still. I stared at it for maybe 10 seconds before realizing it was waving. A long, pale arm just moving side to side. The motion was slow, deliberate. I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Maybe an illusion, maybe the moonlight playing tricks. But the longer I looked, the more it seemed like it was looking back at me. I woke my older brother, told him to check it out. He grabbed our dad's binoculars and looked. He froze. Didn't say a word, just handed them back and walked straight out of the room. When I looked through the lenses, my stomach dropped. It wasn't a person. Its arms were too long, its skin too white. And where its face should have been, there was nothing. Just this smooth blank shape. The next morning, my brother wouldn't talk about it. He acted strange all day, distant, distracted, mumbling to himself. That night, he locked his door. And the next morning, he was gone. We searched for weeks. Cops, dogs, neighbors, nothing. The only thing they found was his flashlight, halfway into the cornfield, pointed toward where that thing had been. My grandfather told me later that old folks around there had a name for it. The waving man. They said it appears on hot summer nights near empty fields. If you wave back or try to understand what it is, you'll lose something inside your head, and eventually it'll come to finish what it started. It's been years since then, but sometimes when I can't sleep, I still hear the sound of dry corn swaying outside my window. Even when there's no wind, and I swear, I can see a pale hand, still waving. You know how sometimes there's that one neighbor who just feels wrong? Like you don't really know why, but something about them makes your skin crawl? That's how it was with Mr. Lang, the man who lived right below me. I was renting a small apartment in a quiet American suburb. The place was quiet, almost too quiet. The kind of silence that makes every creak sound louder. Mr. Lang was friendly enough, always smiling when we passed each other, but I never saw him go out during the day, not even once. But every night, at exactly 2:30 in the morning, I'd hear it. Slow footsteps, pacing from one end of his room to the other, back and forth, every single night. At first I thought, maybe he worked night shifts, but his lights were always off. One night I got curious. I kneeled down beside the floor vent that connected our apartments. When I looked through it, I froze. He was standing there, just standing, facing the wall. His body didn't move. His breathing was slow, heavy, like he was trying not to make a sound. I didn't see his face, but I could feel that he knew I was watching. The next morning I saw him by the mailboxes. He looked tired, eyes bloodshot. He smiled at me and said, "You should move upstairs. The noise keeps me up." But I live above him. That night, I didn't sleep. Around 2:30 a.m. I heard it again. The footsteps, slow, steady, Closer. Only this time, it wasn't coming from below me. It was inside my apartment. I turned my head. Someone was standing in the corner of my living room. Tall, dark, still, just watching. I couldn't even scream. When I blinked, he was gone. The next day, the police came. They found my front door unlocked. Footprints leading from the vent to my living room. And Mr. Lang's apartment, empty. The landlord said he was evicted 2 months ago. No one had lived there since. Sometimes when the night gets quiet and the clock hits 2:30, I still hear it. The slow, steady pacing. And I wonder, who's living under me now? Thank you, Midnight Snacks. I hope you will read my story. I want it to be heard with my family, who I now live with. Good evening, Midnight Snacks. I just discovered your channel while scrolling through YouTube Shorts last night. I didn't even realize I'd been watching your videos. I really liked how you tell these stories. They're creepy but calm at the same time. You can just call me Mac. That's not my real name, but I'd rather keep it that way. I'm from the Philippines, and this is actually my first time sending something like this. I don't even know if you'll narrate it since I'm from another country. But I just wanted to share what happened to me. I used to work the night shift at a small 24-hour convenience store here in Laguna. It wasn't a busy place. Most customers came before midnight. Then it was just silence until morning. I liked that peace. But ever since one night in 2018, I can't stand quiet places anymore. It was around 2:47 a.m. when the door suddenly chimed. Ding! Like someone had entered. But when I looked up, the store was empty. I checked the sensor. It was fine. Then I noticed something strange. Small, wet footprints on the floor. Barefoot, like from a child. They led straight to the freezer section. I followed them, holding my phone flashlight. The footprints stopped right in front of one of the freezers. I opened the door. Nothing inside but frozen goods. I turned around to go back to the counter, but the CCTV monitor flickered. On the screen, I saw something that made my heart stop. A girl was standing behind the counter. Her long hair was covering her face. Her feet were dripping wet. I blinked, and the screen glitched. Then she was gone. I wanted to run, but something made me look at the glass door. I saw my reflection. And right beside it, another face. Pale, smiling, with black hollow eyes staring back at me. The next thing I remember, it was already morning. My manager said he found me sleeping on the floor. The CCTV was unplugged. He laughed about it, but I noticed a small puddle near the freezer, even though everything else was dry. I quit that job the next day. But sometimes when I pass by that store at night, the door still opens by itself, even when no one's there. That's all for now. I don't know if you'll ever narrate my story, but I truly hope you do. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope one day I can hear this story together with my family, the same family I'm now living with.